All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a document that, for decades, shaped American foreign policy completely from the shadows. Its official name is National Security Study Memorandum 200. You might know it, though, as the Kissinger Report. And believe me, for a very long time, it was one of Washington's most closely guarded secrets. And I am not exaggerating. For more than a decade after it was written back in 1974, this document was stamped confidential and classified. It was only passed around at the absolute highest levels of the U.S. government. We're talking the White House, the State Department, the Pentagon. Its contents were considered so sensitive that the report itself said only the White House had the authority to declassify it. And then, finally, on July 3rd, 1989, it happened. The report was released to the public. And with that, we got this incredible, direct window into the strategic thinking of that era. It revealed exactly how the U.S. government was planning to deal with what it considered a massive global threat. So what exactly was NSSM 200? Well, it was this really deep analysis of how global population growth could affect America's security and its interests all over the world. And here's the crucial part. This was not framed as a humanitarian issue. No, this was explicitly a matter of national security. The report was basically asking, if the world's population keeps exploding, what does that mean for our access to resources, for political stability, and for American power? Now, to really understand the report's recommendations, you first have to get your head around the scale of the problem as they saw it. I mean, they painted this incredibly stark picture of a world on the brink of a demographic crisis like nothing we'd ever seen before. The whole analysis kicked off with a really startling number. For centuries, it took about 100 years for the world's population to double. But the report found that at the growth rate in 1974, the world was on pace to double its population in just 35 years. That was, and I'm quoting them here, quantitatively and qualitatively different from any previous epoch in human history. The sheer scale of it was just breathtaking. The world was adding nearly 80 million people every single year. To put that in perspective, at the beginning of the century, the increase was only about 10 million a year. So this explosive acceleration, that was the heart of the crisis. And this chart really shows you where all that growth was happening. The report draws this sharp, clear line between the developed world and the developing world. In developed regions, growth was pretty slow, somewhere between 0 and 1.5%. But in what they called the less developed countries, or LDCs, it was just skyrocketing, at rates that would double their populations in as little as 20 years. Now check this out. This is where it gets really eye-opening, because this is the long-term view that was put in front of policymakers. These were the projections from the report. Just look at Africa, projected to grow by a factor of almost 7 by 2075, Latin America by a factor of 5, and meanwhile, the entire developed world